Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Serp Creative channel. Hope everyone's doing well out there. So in the last video I said I'd be giving away one of the Van Bode prints that me and Christopher John did. I've had a little bit of a delay putting this video out, so to up that I'm going to be giving away 5 of those prints instead to these 5 people here. So boom, 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 boom. Thank you very much for checking out the video and dropping a comment. So if you will drop me a direct message over on Instagram at Serp Creative with your shipping address, I'll get that sent over to you, no problem at all. I'm also going to kick this video off straight away by doing another giveaway. So I'm going to be giving away one of these chisel tip tag Serp Creative t-shirts in a dark red, any size you need. So we'll announce the winner of that in the next video. All you've got to do to enter is just drop a comment below, comment what you think of the video, comment what kind of art you've been doing recently, anything at all. Drop me a comment and you're automatically entered into next week's giveaway to win a Serp Creative t-shirt. Anyway, that's enough of that. Let's get straight into the video. I'm going to be looking over the years of my graffiti pieces, so this is not going to include any black book work at all and none of my kind of script lettering work. I kind of count that as a different side of progression. It's just going to be paintings on a wall, and yeah, I'm going to look at a few of my old paintings. But yeah, let's get straight into the first photo. But yeah, guys, let's get straight into it. So here's the first one here. I will have to start off by apologizing on some of the quality of these images. You know, they were taken a good few years ago when I didn't have the greatest phone. And yeah, some of the shots are not great, let's just say that. Let's start straight away. So this piece here, as we can see by the date here on this camera, 2015. So coming up 6 years ago now. And this was painted in a local skate park to me. You can see it's just SERP like I've always done, with a bit of a character here. It's not great. I'll let you into a little secret with this one. Eyes were something that I could never do on characters. I'm still not very good at eyes, so to kind of get around that, I put little like smoke bubbles or stuff over the eyes, and I did it a lot. Also hands, so I was never very good at doing fingers. They always look weird, so I put them into like hoodie pockets normally on the characters, but as you can see here, she's wearing a t-shirt, so why it's got hoodie pockets, I don't know. Anyway, lettering wise, not terrible. As you can see, the sort of can controls never really there. The lines aren't too sharp. You can see here, here. We're gonna kicking over in places. Definitely over here, we've got some issues. But yeah, you've really got to start somewhere with this kind of thing and build your can control up. And that's not done quickly. That's done over years of getting the muscle memory with a can. As you can see, I've done cutbacks and things. So we've cut back in areas, but it's still not the cleanest. The colors don't work amazingly well together, and it's very basic in that respect, but the actual structure is not terrible. 3D, it's obviously a bit of a drop down 3D, but as we can see here, the lines sort of don't line up. So we've got these ones coming down at this angle, and we've got these coming down here. It's not massively off, but that would kind of give the idea of a vanishing point. But then we've got this one here dropping straight down, so it's not exact at all. But yeah, I remember at the time being absolutely gassed with that piece. Like at the time, that was my favorite piece of graffiti per day, and like you could see it from the road when you drove past, so I was absolutely buzzing off it. But yeah, looking back, it's absolutely amazing to like look back and see your progression, and it's really motivating to keep you on your track, keep you in your lane, keep pushing forward. But yeah, there's the first one. Very simple. These aren't in date order, by the way. I thought that'd be a little bit weird, and I think it's nicer to just see a variation like as I go through. I'm also not including any of my sort of really recent work, just sort of old work, so you can see the kind of where I've come from, and it's a nice little refresher. Hopefully motivate a few people to keep pushing, maybe even bring out their old work and see how far they've come. So second one here, honestly, one of my favorite pieces of this time. At the time, I was absolutely so buzzing off this. So it's got a rest in peace Dalton up here, who was a young lad who was murdered in my city. So I did a little rest in peace up there for him. And funny story with this piece as well. So this quote over here, So it says, how can the sky be the limit and there's footprints on the moon? It's actually a quote by Logic, one of his really old songs. And I put this in the right hand side here of this piece. Over to this right hand side, there was actually another artist who'd done a portrait of George Bush. Don't know why, but people thought that that quote was to go alongside with his piece instead of alongside mine, which was quite weird. But yeah, anyway, this is the piece here. Really kind of started working more with curved lines, because a lot of my other stuff was quite straight at the time. So this was kind of my first time ever experimenting with curved lines. So we've got curved lines here, got a curved line here. It makes nice symmetry. And the main feature of this piece is the two arrows that kind of come down and back around. So they're kind of like inverted on each other. I liked that at the time. And yeah, looking back in my recent work, I don't really use arrows that much. I feel like you can achieve so much more with graffiti lettering, just working with extensions and things, and arrows aren't really ever that necessary. They can be a nice addition here and there, but here I don't think they kind of work. The reason being is we've got our S here. This is just one example. Our S here isn't complete unless we have that arrow. That's sort of part of the structure, if you see what I'm saying. So that's part of the structure on the S, whereas the R here is standalone. It's fine without the arrow. It's still an R, and then the arrow just comes in and kind of messes things up. So it hasn't really got that sort of consistency throughout. But yeah, I'll try and speed things up, get through a few of these pretty quickly. 2015 here, so a good 6 years ago coming up now. Really nice piece here. Happy with this one at the time. Very simple, blocky, you know what I'm saying? SERP, and then I've got this girl character in the middle. As I said, can't really do eyes. The nose is very weird as well. But yeah, look at my hand style there. It's not changed that much in 6 years. It's just been refined. Like, I found the kind of way I wanted to work very early on, and from there I've just made small adjustments and developments over time, but they are noticeable. I also started experimenting with these little exterior details, you know, these little clouds, and enjoy using those, and I still do pull those out from time to time. 2015 here, at the time, was like my biggest piece. It's kind of hard to put in perspective here, but like if you're walking along, your height would probably come up to like here kind of thing. It was a big wall at the time. Me only being 16 years old, you know, painting that, I was absolutely gassed because it felt massive. Yeah, big set of ladders to do those. Yeah, and, you know, working with the arrows again here is not as broken because the arrow isn't part of the structure at all. You know, we've got the S, doesn't work that well in red there, but yeah, we've got an S, and then the arrow is sort of an extra piece. The only part in this piece that I really don't like is the background. I feel like it was very rushed, and yeah, looks pretty terrible. Next piece here. So 2016 here, working a bit more with curved lines again, and introducing kind of like letter connections. So we R and P here, I feel like they're joined quite nicely there. And then we've got the S and the E that don't really connect very well. First time I think here was using shadow black. So as you can see here, I've put a transparent black. If you don't know what a shadow black is, I'll pop one up on screen right now. It's basically a black can. It's like a technical can, and it sprays like a mist, and it comes out really nice, and you can use it. So say you don't have a wide range of colors, you need a green and a blue here, and you don't have a dark green and a dark blue, you can buy one shadow can and use it on all of them, and it will darken it. So look, we've got a darker green there, and here we've got a darker blue. Really great thing to use. Lettering wise, brilliant can. People use it a lot with like doing street art, portraits, things like that. You can see them on the floor here, the kind of cans I was using at the time. So yeah, Iron Lax, still use those today, and 94s, brilliant cans. Yeah, we'll move on. So here was 2016, I believe, a bit of a paint jam, and I did an SE on the back of this little Clio, sorry. Not much to say about it other than that. It's quite blocky, you know, it's my standard kind of style. Structure's a little bit messed up in this area, looks a bit too crowded. Wouldn't really go for that this kind of time. And you can see one of my tags in the background there, on the back of that truck there as well, actually. So yeah, moving on. This was at the time a massive piece for me. Really gassed for this one. This was actually me and a couple mates travelled over to Bristol. So I don't actually live far from Bristol at all. Actually, it's about 45 minutes away from me, but it took a big day over, got the train over, and painted this big piece in Dean Lane Skate Park. At the time, I was part of the Evoke team. This is 2016, and yeah, this was my biggest piece to date from that one. Was pretty happy with it at the time, but looking back, you know, the structure's not great, the flow's not great, and some of the line work's not brilliant either. An example of that is kind of here. You can see the blue coming out. We've got red coming into the area there. Some of the lines just aren't that tidy. This halo at the top thing, I saw a lot of people doing it at the time, and I wanted to do it as well. Just doesn't work. It looks ridiculous. And the background, you know, I was kind of pressed for time because we needed to get home at the end of the day kind of thing, and I didn't have all day to kind of stick on it. We had some other bits to be doing, so only a white background wasn't great, but really happy with that piece. And that's like one of the ones which I look back at and I'm so glad I did it. And yeah, this is, if you don't know Bristol at all, it's probably the most heavily graffiti orientated city in the UK. So that piece there would have lasted a day, 2 days, and it would have been gone over. But I didn't care because it's like getting my name up in, you know, Bristol was like a big thing at the time. When I was 16, that was like my dream. So yeah, moving on. So this is what I meant earlier when I said some of them are terrible quality, but this is 2015. Probably one of my first pieces. So skate park in my city, and horrendous orange background, horrendous hand style, but the piece itself is something else. It is so bad. Like, you can't even make out the fact that they're letters. They just look like chucked together shapes. The line work's pretty terrible. The fact that I got the Vanishing Point 3D pretty alright at the time was pretty surprising. I did practice a lot in books before I ever went out with the cans, which I think really helped me. I feel like if you just grab cans and go out straight away, you will be struggling because you won't have that kind of background knowledge in your head. Whereas if you practice a lot on paper, you're going to have that kind of skill and sketch a bit more. But as you can see, didn't help me much there. It's so bad. Another one from 2015, probably my second or third piece on this big sign thing. So yeah, I was really interested in doing all those spacey spray paint things at the time. So I tried to incorporate that into the background. There's some weird quote here, relapse your mind. Don't know what that means, honestly. 15, 16-year-old me probably could tell you, but no idea. Yeah, Vanishing Point in 3D does not work at all, completely broken. I'll explain that now. So we've got lines going up here, so they're meeting at this point here. Those go to there as well. Oh no, this one goes up here, and then this one goes here, and then this one goes here. Like, the vanishing point's completely off. Structure's not terrible, not great either, and yeah, colours don't really work. Not great. I used to do these quite a lot. I showed you one earlier on the back of the caster. The SE was quite like a big thing for me. I was never really too big on throw-ups. I preferred just doing the SE, but would putting the time you would put into a throw-up into those. So I'd add like little interiors, little doodads out the side, and arrows obviously, and then a bit more of a complex drop shadow with a bit of colour in there, maybe two-tone in the inside. And yeah, I still do those like now. Like if I've just got a little bit of time or finish painting, I'll just do one of those somewhere. Moving on, here's another one. As you can see straight away, it's just overcomplicated. The structures kind of suffers from that. Like, we've got a lot of interior details here that aren't needed, and I think if it wasn't for those, it'd be a very clean piece. You know, I've gone with a chrome background, just the lettering and the drop down black 3D, and the red on black works like strong. Like, the contrast between those is strong, and then you've got the black off the chrome is strong already. So I feel like that could have been a good piece if I would have kept these interior details to a minimum. So yeah, here's another one. Another skate park. Skate parks are quite common around in my area, and they're great places to paint. You know, you get a lot of nice days out in the sun just at the skate park painting. Again, far too busy. A lot of interior details that don't need to be there, that don't add much to the piece but actually subtract to it. There are a few nice areas. Like, I really like that kind of kick off there. That's the kind of extension that you can see in my work nowadays. But then we've got you know, not much symmetry to the piece. It's very heavily weighted on this side here, on the left side. And SERP 1, man, that was something I was experimenting a lot with at the time, putting 1 behind my name. I feel like everyone does that, and it's just so unoriginal at this point. But what date was this? Like, oh, it's cut off. I think that's 2015. So at the time, everyone put 1 behind their name. Just like, it was more original to not do it. Next piece here. So 2015 again, very big piece. This was very tall, big set of ladders on this, and was really happy with it. One thing I would say is not very good about it is symmetry again. So very heavily weighted on that left side with the S. I always tend to do that at the time. Like, the S was my favorite letter, so I put so much time and thought into the S. The structure was always sick. Well, I thought it was. The structure was always sick, big extensions and all that, and then the rest of it was sort of small and didn't have as much time put into it, and it always threw the balance off. Now I'm more, you know, aware of that. I've also got, you know, problems with the 3D again. It's all going in different directions, which does take the eye away from what it should be looking at, kind of thing. But yeah, I was happy with that at the time, and I'd still look back and say pretty cool piece. This one was 2017, and really happy with this piece. And I could say, looking back, yeah, I was happy with this and the pieces I was doing around this time. But this is just an example of one of them. Really cool colors. I really put a lot of time into the fill on this one. So as you can see, there's a lot of layering, colors, shapes in that 3D, and then the simple black outline. Yeah, just works well, I reckon. And then the background, I did all these little triangles. I think they look pretty cool. And yeah, 3D's good, structure's good, kept it simple. As you can see, like, as I moved on, I realized the art of getting something looking nice is just to cut back all the stuff that you're adding on for no reason and keep it basic. So yeah, here's another example, 2016 on this one. Just a big silver dub. Not much to say about that. It's pretty good. There's a few areas that look a bit dodgy, like this leg here doesn't go well at all. It should have been carried down. It should have been carried down straight like this and look a bit stronger, and then have this come off the bottom like that. That's how I would have done it, but yeah, doesn't look great there. Moving on to the next piece here. So this is 2017, but I think this photo was taken maybe a few years after. As you can see, it started to flake away and fade a bit. I couldn't find the original photo though, unfortunately. But yeah, following on from the last one, it was around the similar time to that green one. So you can see I've put a lot of time and texture into the fill, and then just a really simple outline with this dark purple. Really recommend doing that, guys. Don't just stick to black for outlines, really mix things up. Even do like dark fills with a light outline. That really looks sick, and I don't see enough people doing it, so highly recommend you guys jump on that. But yeah, it's quite a sick piece. I feel like that one's still going today. I'm not 100% sure. Some of these are, some of them aren't. Coming to more recent times now, so skate park again, 2019, so last year, well, nearly 2 years ago now. Sick creative piece, really nice fill, as you can see here, what I talked about earlier with the shadow black. So you can see I've used that on the inside, and it gives that sort of interior bevel look. 3D's all good, details all good. It's really simple lettering and just a simple red background. Looks clean. You could see it from a roadside, so it's pretty cool for me to drive past every day and see it was still running. And last one here, it's a pretty old one. I think this is 2016. You can see again, it's just over the top with the details, if you know what I mean. Too much flamboyance that doesn't need to be there. Big arrows, like on the S there, we got 2 arrows. Don't need any, like they're not part of the structure in this case, so it's not as bad, but they just don't look great. And yeah, it's too busy for me. Not too happy with that piece, but you know, it's all part of the journey, like I was saying, guys. But anyway, guys, as I mentioned earlier, if you'd like to be entered for the SERP Creative Chisel tee in the dark red, all you got to do is drop a comment down below. You're automatically entered into that. But anyway, guys, thank you for tuning in on today's video. Go check me out over on Instagram if you want to see more daily updates about what I'm up to. But anyway, guys, I'll catch you in the next one.